Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Lover of Men, the Untold History of Abraham Lincoln. And this is a new documentary from director Sean Peterson, and this focuses on a lot of evidence that have been pulled to reframe the idea of Abraham Lincoln's sexuality, journals, and first-hand accounts of his relationships with four significant men, including Mr. Speed, who was thought to be his best friend, and in many documents, perspectives might have been his true love and his lover in his life. You know, them sharing a bed for 4 years. Seems a little, just casually sleeping in the same bed with my best friend, BFFs, for 4 years. And this film is certainly going to ruffle a lot of feathers, because it's going to piss off a bunch of people, because it's like, hey, how dare you try to take Abraham Lincoln from us and make him gay? Well, this film, I think, does a fine job of utilizing, like, perspective and articles and there were certainly love letters. If you hear the words of what they wrote, just talking about your best friend that way, you have this kind of evidence, and it's an interesting exploration of whether this is true or not. Is it true? We'll never 100% know. Maybe he was just very flowery with his language in terms of talking about his pals. But at the end of the day, it really paints an interesting perspective on how somebody of such big importance and perspective, their whole entire personal existence can be reframed by history. And because, like, couldn't just be casually out as gay and, become president of the United States. And his relationship with Mary Todd helping really bring his experience together and his political journey together. And this film, I think, works best when it is focusing on Lincoln and having this kind of perspective and exploring these ideas. I do think that the dramatizations can be a little cheesy. Like, I don't think they got, like, the strongest actors to be playing them, and, God, they're just, like this uncomfortably seductive staring obnoxiously at each other every time that they have them on screen. And they have a lot of interesting historians and personalities who come on and give perspective here. Then this really gets bigger, in a bigger context. I feel like it's important to explain the context of, like, well, if he was gay, why didn't he just say so? Well, providing that context of, like, historically, but this gets, like, really big in scope. And after a while, I'm like, is this really about Abraham Lincoln anymore? And I feel like maybe it didn't have to get, like, that big in scope, at least setting the stage specifically for this story, because there is that intimacy, that connection to this story of Abraham Lincoln, what he means to so many people. And if you're going to be, reframing that perspective, focus on Abraham Lincoln. And at the end of the day, I feel like this documentary brings up some interesting points, will certainly spark some interesting conversation, will also spark some not interesting conversation, because then it's just like, this on IMDb has a 4.8 out of 10, and I'm sure all those people saw the movie. All those insane amount of 1-star reviews. And I feel like even if you don't believe this to be true, even if the documentary doesn't 100% convince anybody that it's 100% true, it is an engaging and interesting enough exploration of recontextualizing history with more information. And it'd be an interesting idea if, like, it did turn out that Abraham Lincoln had been gay, and at this point, we're not going to know. He's been dead for over 150 years. But when you look back, look at this documentary, I think it does a good job of bringing up evidence and recontextualizing things and bringing a different kind of perspective, a little bit different focus looking back at history. But those are my thoughts on Lover of Men. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.